So I'm recording, Bruno.
Okay, can you hear me well?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bruno Magalhães. I'm this Director Engineering of Sales Engineering for LATAM. I see we have a big audience, especially from LATAM this afternoon. So I'd like to say hi to everyone, to all of our customers and partners. I'll be together with Herman. Herman's our sales engineer located in the South Cone region in Argentina. I'm based in Brazil. Herman will doing this presentation focusing in the regionalization and the type of playout solution that we are presenting to the market this year. And just to put some of the rules, everyone is able to send questions. There's a Q&A tab. I'm explaining to whoever is joining now and has not participated in any session before. So you can just click on the Q&A and you can send questions. You can send questions anytime. If the questions are not answered during the presentation with Herman explanations, we're gonna set some time to the end, to go over these questions. I think that's it, Herman. You can take the lead, and I hope everyone enjoyed the presentation, and I hope it's helpful for everyone's projects along the year.
Okay, thank you, Bruno. Okay, thank you, Bruno, and good afternoon to all. So we can start. Yes, welcome to this webinar. As we are doing from today, we will spend the next hour talking about the webinar called Reaching New Audience with Virtual Programming. It will last 1 hour. We will review this agenda that we have, and if for any reason, if there is some pending question, as Bruno said, we can cover it later on. Okay, here is the agenda, and we can start. Okay, so first of all, just to make a quick introduction, the idea of this webinar is just to explain maybe one of the reasons that ATEM has to have a new solution. I guess I'm seeing from the panelists that we have, the attendees, most of you are customers of ATEM, and other people maybe is not customer but knows ATEM very well. And as you know, ATEM, we all know that ATEM has a lot of solutions about Titan Live, Titan MOOCs, Titan Edge. But now this year we are launching a new solution, a software-based solution called Titan Playout. And the idea is just to give an overview of this Titan Playout. So first of all, let's start with market trends of the Titan Playout. One main driver which influences the Playout market is the explosive content growth. It means that we see that there is a booming number of OTT services, TV channels, and also video content, and there is a need of content generation. We see that there is an expansion of the media consumption market, and this expansion leads to a content fragmentation. The volume media library of the broadcasters or content providers is drastically increasing, and the end viewers have a lot of services to watch. The second market driver that we see is a growing need for personalized TV. So as to reach the widest audience, content providers and broadcasters are looking for delivering and streaming more content, more TV channels with a continuous effort to create customer loyalty. One logical way is to perform target TV, which may help to increase revenues and also monetize the widest range of a media library. And then let's say a third driver could be the need for content or services providers to migrate their existing architecture to a brand new one. It could consist of moving to all IP, to add 4 key HDR capabilities, or to move one part of the Playout system into the cloud. These are some trends we see in the Playout market, and this is like some keys that we see, and this key motivated us to generate a new solution for Playout. Okay, following with some challenges we had in the moment to define a solution. Here we will show a list of topics to consider that we would like to share with you. First, we wanted to make a solution able to work on-premise or in the cloud, something totally, let's say, hardware agnostic. And if somebody wants the solution on-premise, it works. If we want a disaster recovery in the cloud, it works too. So we don't have limits regarding where the solution is running. Second, let's say scalability is a key in the Playout solution. With the solution of Attempt Titan Playout, we must be able to launch services quickly and easily. This is one thing that is very important for us. This is not, let's say, launching a channel and finish. When we personalize content and try to attract new audience, we might have several channels in our offer. So it's really important that if we want to launch, for example, 5 channels, we must be able to do it. If we want to launch 10 channels, we must be able to do it. And then, as the Titan Playout will have to work with several parts from different vendors, it's really important for us, the interoperability too. I mean, interoperability with video formats, interoperability with codecs, with existing NAS, with APIs, etc. Titan Playout is full compatible with most of the standards in the industry. In this solution, we don't have any proprietary feature hidden that maybe can generate any issue with interoperability. And finally, as last challenge, we found we wanted to do something totally flexible to configure, and also something able to generate this virtual programming. These were our challenges we had, and we committed with Titan Playout. So, clarify these challenges, we can move to the Playout ecosystem. If there is any doubt or any question, you can do it at any moment, and then in the end with Bruno, we will review all the questions. But regarding the Playout ecosystem, to understand our new solution, I will describe it. I will put everything here. Okay. Yes, just to understand well, the Titan Playout is the new brick of our Titan platform. It's really important to understand this. As most of you know, in our suite Titan, we have Titan Live for live encoding, we have Titan Edge for contribution, we have Titan File for video transcoding, and now we have Titan Playout as a tool for Playout and channel origination. All the suite is totally compatible with different third parties, with different standards, and it provides the highest video quality to ensure the best service. All our Titan platform is designed to run on a native OS. It can run on virtual machines and also in containers. About the hardware, we use CPU and GPU depending on the use case. Depending on the use case, we will suggest different hardware, and this hardware can be CPU or GPU. And most of the hardware vendors in the market, we have homologated this hardware, so we have a very wide option in terms of hardware. In this slide that then we will share, we have a list of different hardware vendors. So any of these vendors are compatible with our platform. So we are very, very standard. And if you see the highest part, we see the logo of Kubernetes. That it's in this moment is really important because Atem is launching Titan Playout, and Titan Playout is based in microservices, and the orchestration that we use is Kubernetes, and all this suite that I mentioned in this presentation can run using Kubernetes as orchestrator. Then there is another presentation of Kubernetes that makes some focus, but now we mention this because it's quite important. Okay, if it's clear, we can go ahead, and in this graph, it's easy to see how a complete ecosystem works with Titan Live, Titan File, and Titan Playout. You will see different logos in the diagram, and each logo represents a software from a theme. We see Titan Live, File, and Playout. In this graph, everything you see here is running using microservices, as I mentioned in the slide before. And with this diagram, with this workflow, it'll be really easy to create a pop-up channel, or maybe a regionalized channels, always thinking about attracting new audience. When we say attracting new audience, is trying to generate something that maybe we are not doing right now, and the idea is just to keep people that we don't have today. So in terms of the product that we can offer, is pop-up channels is maybe one of the key in our offer, and also the regionalization of the different channels. Following the description of this diagram, that is quite important for you to understand, is the input in the system can be live or file, depending on the content that we have. And using these inputs, we can have a unique output to, for example, contribute a cable operator, or maybe to an affiliate. This is quite important. The idea is, from different inputs, we can generate one personalized output, and with this output, depending on the workflow that we have, maybe we can do some contribution or distribution, depending on if we are a cable operator or if we are a broadcaster. Or even if the case, sometimes we have customers that publish the content in different websites, we could do that with this solution. So there is like no limit in the use case. The idea is to understand well the workflow, the different parts of the diagram, and the idea is just to generate the use case that we need. And something else important that I didn't mention yet is that in this example, everything also will be orchestrated by our AMS, which is our tool to monitor the platform. That the AMS, you can see it in the upper side. The idea is with the AMS is, in a cable, for example, in a cable operator or a broadcaster, the operation team will have to see everything is up and running as usual. And the idea is just to give a tool for the operation team that by checking only one screen, they will have control of all the elements, and even they will be able to execute any redundancy manually or automatically. It's very important to mention that in this case, when we say we can have everything under control with the AMS, and the operation team will realize if there is any problem, any alarm or whatever, it does not include only the solution from a TEM. The AMS, the idea is just to be an orchestrator of the head-end, and we can monitor IRDs, we can monitor modulators, we can monitor, I don't know, maybe multi-viewers, depending on the different elements that we have in the head-end. Maybe the AMS can monitor different elements and be really, really helpful for the operation teams. Okay, we can continue now. Let's make some focus on the playout. It's clear that with Titan Playout, you will be able to generate one channel, I mentioned before. Process this channel maybe for your OTT platform. Maybe you can contribute this new channel to an affiliate. You can regionalize, adding some ads. You can add logos. You can add some videos. And also, it is everything ready, for example, to do a special link for a disaster recovery in the cloud. Sometimes, or some years ago, maybe some customers talking about disaster recovery were thinking about to replicate everything in another building, maybe in another city, just in case there is any big problem in the main heaven. But now it's not this way. Sometimes when a customer asks us if we can have a disaster recovery, they are not always thinking about another building. They are thinking about to put the disaster recovery in the cloud. And with Titan Playout, it's totally ready because Titan Playout can run in the cloud. So we can have, for example, a disaster recovery in the cloud, for example, and using internet, let's say, as network to between the cloud and my main site. This is an example, okay? The idea is just to understand the concept, and after understanding this, we can move the pieces to have, let's say, a tailored solution depending on the use case. Don't forget something really important that we would like to mark very well is that this is a Titan suite, what we are showing in most of the cases. It is not only a playout solution that we generate only one channel and that's it. The idea is just to generate one channel and maybe do the transcoding of this channel, do the contribution if it's needed to send the link with a contribution encoding properties, we can do it, sorry. For example, Titan Edge can add it, and mixing different parts of our software, we can do a lot of solutions depending on the customer. Okay, if it's clear and we don't have so much questions, we can continue. Now let's split the Titan Playout in three parts. Now we will do some focus on the playout in the playout solution. The first part in this graph, the idea was to make like three boxes, three bricks, and say, okay, this is the playout. This is the software, the Titan Playout, our new solution. And these three boxes are the asset library, playout engine, and automation. First, we can say something about asset library, which is in the up in the left. We said we can generate a channel, okay? But how? The idea is, one possible answer is by reusing video files like, I don't know, football matches, TV series, movies, or whatever other solution. All this media, okay? All this media talking about files that we will use to generate this output is received and processed by this asset library. We said in the beginning, in the market trend slide, that now the cable operators have a lot of media files from, in general, the VOD libraries, and this is like the time to reuse this library. Most of the cases, the cable operators bought content, a lot of content, I don't know, football matches, TV series, for the VOD. But now, instead of keep these files in the NAS, we can reuse it. So one of the things that we can think about a playout solution on how to use how to generate new content is trying to reuse the VOD library that we bought in the past and we have in the storage. In this asset library will receive everything, okay? And the operator who use the Titan Playout will check, for example, the available content in the user interface. Then once the file is uploaded, the system will verify if the file is okay or if the file is corrupted. All these kind of tasks with media are done with the asset library part. Then we have the other brick is automation. This part manages mainly the playlist and the events generation. It controls if a live event has to be in the output at a certain time, just to put some words. The automation is in charge to make the system full automatic. Here we will do all the playlist, we will do all the automation part and program all the events and how I want my output from the Titan Playout. And finally, the last brick we have is the Playout engine, all the graphic engine, logos generation, recording feature. It is all here. Also, we have the channel player. It's like the engine of the Playout, okay? So we have the first part that works with the media, okay? When I upload a file, just to see if everything is correct. We have the second part, which is the automation, who is in charge mostly to make everything automatic, okay, with the playlist and to program all the events. And then the engine of the Playout, it's the module Playout engine. Okay, we can continue. Okay, now let's move to the architecture overview. Okay, to show the architecture overview, we have this clear picture in where we show different layers. Starting from the bottom layer, okay, we see first, as we mentioned in the beginning, we don't have any limitation in the hardware, okay? We can work in any hardware, on-premise, in the cloud. We can have a hybrid solution. And this is quite important to understand that we have no limitation regarding this. Then going up, we can run under CentOS, Red Hat, and another SO. No limitation on that also. Then something important, maybe just to understand about the architecture, is we use Docker as a runtime engine, okay? And to orchestrate everything, we use Kubernetes, okay? This is the situation that we have right now. Today, Kubernetes is considered as the de facto standard in orchestration. That's why maybe we adopted. And it's like, this is the most standard solution in the market because we are using the most used tools for the orchestration and runtime engine. Then we have, going up a little more, we have some APIs for external communication, okay? It's easy that we can communicate with different third parties and with different vendors using everything, all the APIs REST that we use. And also, finally, we reach the front end, that the idea is just to provide a user interface for the operator. The idea is if somebody has this solution, okay, besides the APIs and all the external communication that we can have, is to provide a user interface that should let the operator operate the system with all the control that he can. Okay. Here, following in this slide, we show what we show here is the three main parts of the Titan Playout. From the architecture view, okay, we have, as we mentioned in the previous slide, we have the media library, we have the automation and the channel player. As I mentioned before, all is under the orchestration of Kubernetes. And now from this slide, we'll try to get more details for every section. Okay. We said, one thing that we said before is, if we understand the Titan platform, we can move some pieces and tailor the solution. That's clear, I guess, for everybody. This is true. And it's good also to understand deeper, splitting some blocks, okay? For example, the brick playout engine might be divided into different functions depending on the configuration that we have. For example, we have the master control switcher, which is in charge to run the primary video event of a playlist. Then, if we will insert any graphic, we have the module graphic inserter. This is in case we want to insert some logos, some static images, or to do some insertion of a graphic. We have this module. Then there is we will give an example of the audio video processor. Is in the case, for example, that in the input we have an HD live video, for example. I have one input and this is a live HD video. And maybe I switch to another input video, okay? That is SD video file. So I'm seeing in my output the live HD video, and then I want to switch because the main input finishes, and I want to switch to a video file. But maybe this is an SD file, so we should do an up conversion of the SD video file. This is something that this module will be in charge of, to do some downscaling or upscaling depending on my output. If I want my output HD, okay, the audio video processor will do something, and if I want my output UHD, it will do an up conversion depending on my output. Then maybe if we want to mix some channels, we have the channel composer, okay? And also, finally, we offer the possibility also in our solution of Playout to record our output. To explain why this is something mandatory in some countries that request a legal copy of the content we broadcast. For example, if I'm a broadcaster and I'm sending my content to a different city or to a certain area or country, sometimes I have to record the content because legal terms. So our solution always also includes the channel recorder for this kind of cases. Okay, so just to make a quick summary of this slide, these are like some logical modules of the Playout that, depending on the configuration, maybe they will be like internally activated or not. Okay, we are going ahead. Let's continue with another example. Okay, this is an example of the simplest use case to understand if there is some pending doubt from your side. For example, we can have an SDI input, okay? In our system, I will generate, because I want to attract new audience, I will generate a channel that today I don't have it, and I guess it could be good for my audience to have it. And to generate this channel, I will need some inputs, okay? So I can have some SDI input. I can have, for example, an MXF video file that I bought a library, I don't know, music concert, and everything is MXF. And also I can have, for example, an SDI over IP. With all these three inputs, we can generate a unique output mixing all the content, okay? For example, I use the SDI input to play in the output, and in some moments my playlist will indicate that the MXF will be in the output, okay? And once the video file is in the end, I can go back to the live content. This is how it works in a configuration that maybe I want to play a live event, and in the middle I want to put some videos. Then it's important to start saying that if needed, I can write some text on the screen talking about something about to do personalization of the content. I can write some text on the screen, do some text scrolling also. For example, I can place the hour and also put some logos. Depending on the content that I want to create, I will select different functions of the Titan Playout. And also important to mention here also is that in the graph we see an external MAM. Okay, we can use an external MAM. The idea is to have zero interop issues, and we can share the NAS to store media. For example, if we go to a customer who has a lot of content BOD, maybe the NAS is already working and we have to integrate with the NAS. So the idea is just to make the integration with no problems. And also we can communicate with an external automation system using API REST. For example, if a customer already has a Playout system, and they will surely have an automation system. And if you want to keep your automation system, okay, and add the Playout engine and the asset library, we can do it. In this part below the automation, we see API REST, so we can communicate and we can use another automation system, so no problem for that. The idea of this is just to show that we have a high interoperability with the Titan Playout. Okay, if it's clear, we can go to the functional description. Let's move there. Okay. Well, considering some features, we can do some comments about the asset library that we have. First, we can ingest video files from different ways. In some moment, all the media files that the Playout will have to play in the output will have to be uploaded in the system. How to upload all the video files? Okay, we can do it. For example, manually, we can do a manual importation. In that case, is just through the user interface with no problem. Besides, we can use transfer protocols, okay? For example, FTP is an example. And also, in most of the cases that the content is very, very big size, we can upload the content using Aspera or Signant. Also, we made a lot of tests with these tools. We can receive all the content from these tools like Aspera and Signant. Once we upload all the content, we will do some proving, okay, just to ensure that the content is not corrupted. The idea is just to upload the media file and then validate that there is no problem with the format, codecs, and the filing of the media. And if needed, something important also is we can do some clipping in the user interface. The operator will be able, for example, if I upload a football match and I can extract or remove some part, I have at my disposal some tools to select in the video file the beginning, the end, and do some clipping. We can do it with no problems. This is in terms of asset libraries. Then we can receive SDI. We can receive SDI over IP. And also we can configure the redundancy in the input. For example, if I will receive an SDI live input and I have a main link and a backup link, we can configure both links in the Playout. And if the main link fails, the backup link will be activated. So we offer some redundancy mechanism. And also something important is that we can have some alarms about the input of the live feed. For example, if the video is black, we can have some alarms. If we don't have video, we can have alarms. These alarms will be in the user interface of the Titan Playout, or maybe can be sent to the AMS, and then in the AMS, the operation team will have a screen and they will receive an alarm that the Live feed is with some problem. I don't know, maybe black video, frozen video, there is no audio, any type of alarm of this kind. And then something about graphic libraries. We have a graphic library where all the objects will be stored. The operator can review in the interface all the information from the library, okay, and select the object, the bitmap, the logo that they want to put in the output. And in terms, it's important in terms of formats and interoperability with the, I don't know, logos, objects. In fact, we accept most of the possible options, so we don't have any problem with the graphic library. Also, in terms of resolutions, we receive any resolution type. If I want to upload a logo or an image, we can resize internally the information that we upload. Okay, let's do the analysis of one brick more. For example, if we split the master control switcher, okay, what we will see, we will also have different bricks, okay, in the master control switcher. About the quality of the output, that it's important for us, is one concept that we mentioned before, is if I need some pre-processing to adapt some different videos, we will do it. And the most clear example is that the example that we gave before is if I have an HD video and an SD video and my output is HD, I will have to do some pre-processing in the SD file just to make it HD. So the Titan Playout will do it. And something important is if it's a media file, I will do it on the fly, okay? I will not generate, for example, another file HD or another file UHD and so on. And maybe I can have, I don't know, 2 or 3 files of the same content. It can do it on the fly, okay? And the adaptation is a live adaptation. We don't have a lot of copies of the media file of the same content. Also, the idea is just to have the best output. If needed, if there is some need of the interlacing, we will do it. And in terms of closed caption data, okay, we can do some pass-through of the closed caption. If I receive a closed caption, we can do some pass-through. And also we do closed caption clearing, that it's important to have it. This is for the case that maybe my input A, for example, my live input has a closed caption, and then the input number A is not in the output, and the playout switch to a video that does not have a closed caption. Sometimes there is an interoperability issue with the, for example, set-top box or player, and it needs a closed caption clearing, and we do it because this is quite important in terms of interoperability. We evaluate it and we have it available for the preprocessing block. Now about source switching, okay? In the moment that we switch to an input A, from an input A to an input B, for example, we are switching the input. The source switching is totally key, especially in live events. We will give an example of the audio and caption mapping. Is that sometimes we can have a live input with, I don't know, a language in Spanish, and then we have to be sure that we switch to the input number B, we will have also the language Spanish, or even in the case that we have the language English. If we switch to the another feed, we will have to have in the output the English language. So it's quite important to do the correct mapping, okay, mapping the sources. Also, we provide some switching effects in the case that we want to have any effect during the moment that I switch from one input to another, we can have it. And also, it's also quite important also to have the transport stream frame accurate splicing. This is very, very important in the moment that when I switch from one input to another, don't have any video artifact, okay? So to have a playout that makes the frame accurate splicing, it's very important. And we offer in the Titan playout. Okay, perfect. Now let's move forward in the channel branding. We are saying in the beginning that attracting new audience, okay? We will have to generate new content, okay? We will have to personalize content. We will adapt content depending on the countries, depending on the weather, depending on the cities, depending on the age of the people who watch TV. And the part of channel branding is important too, because sometimes we have to make our customers loyal, okay? And channel branding in this task is very important. What we can do with a live event or with a movie to make a branding is adding some images. For example, we can add an image on the screen. For example, I can receive I don't know, any live event, and if I want to put any image on the screen, we can do it. Then in terms of some useful information, we can add some clocks, okay? If I want to add an animation, okay, we can do it. In the part of text, we can have a static text like this slide, or maybe we can do some text scrolling that we have all the text moving. And also we can add some audio over the screen. Now I will go ahead with this. Here is information. Something important is in terms of animation, we can add a video file. Sometimes we can put, I don't know, a bitmap image or a video file animation. We can do it, no problem with that. And also it's important we can configure, okay, just to work in the branding of the Titan playout. We can configure an URL feed, okay, with information about weather, whatever, we can do it, okay? Just the only thing that we need is we have to have the source URL just to configure in the playout. But this is like a good example of the output that we can generate. Okay, going ahead on the graphic inserter module. Okay, it's important. The operator will have available, okay, a catalog of graphic templates, which means a graphic object, okay, overlay settings, that is where I want the object, which is the position, okay. If I want a video effect or any trick that can configure in the Titan playout. And it's important to mention that all the graphics can be inserted in the playlist. It can be everything automated, okay? So there is no need of manual intervention, or if it's the case, the operator can activate any graphic manually also on the fly. But the idea, in fact, is to have everything in the playlist already configured. And in the moment that I say start in the playlist, everything is working with no manual intervention. Okay, and something else, we will not go deeper in the layer techniques and how it works, but something important to mention is that we support up to 8 layers, okay, in terms of overlay capabilities. Okay, going up. Now considering the operation, okay, that is quite important. We can say most for the operation side of the company who has a playout solution, the operator will have 100% of control of the primary events, okay? It is time scheduling, for example, triggers, everything that makes the basic operation. Then we have some secondary events that also the operator will have the 100% control, and it is graphics, subtitles, etc. One thing to mention is for the ones who are not familiar with playouts, the playlist, when we say playlist, is just a file, okay, with the schedule information, and this file can be imported, okay, previously done in another system or in another platform, or maybe it can be created in the user interface. Something that I didn't mention about playlist files maybe is that we accept the BXF, which is the main standard of playlist files, and also we accept another one, which is .sch, if I'm not wrong, which is a proprietary file of playlist, but as it is quite common, we accept it with, we have no problem with that format of playlist. And here we are showing a screenshot of the GUI of the Titan Playout. We will not go into a demo due to the time is running out, but we can schedule a personal demo with any of you, okay, to show you the solution. We have this Titan Playout running in the lab, so we can schedule a demo and make a review of the solution. But just to mention some points to take into account, in this screenshot, what we show is that the operator can do the schedule of the playlist. You will see some buttons and some interface that it's related to the playlist to tell you to the Titan Playout, okay, I want to play this file at 3 p.m., for example, and once it finishes, I don't know, go to the live feed. I can configure the logo in this interface, for example, everything needed to operate the system. The idea is if you don't have any playout solution, we will give you a solution that using the user interface, it will be totally operable, okay? This solution of Titan Playout. But again, we can schedule a more real demo of the solution after this seminar, okay? Just we don't have so much time. Let's move to the record capabilities. That is something that we mentioned in the beginning, but we didn't go deep on this. What we should consider of this feature, record capabilities, is we can do a continuous recording, for example, 24/7, okay? We can record a slot of time, for example, from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. In case it's quite important, in case that we are generating a 4-key channel, we want to record, we can compress the content and record on a low resolution copy, okay? Because recording something 4-key could take a lot of storage, okay? So we can compress the output of the Titan, and so the final size of the recording will be small. And something important also is with the file we generate from recording, we can use it later. This file will be in the catalog of the asset library. So if I want to reuse this recording, I will be able to use it, okay? And there is a function important to say is that the time delay. It's very common, especially once we sell the content out of our time zone, okay? In this case, we have the recording output because sometimes, I don't know, I have to do to send the content from the Playout to another country, okay? But they need the content, I don't know, 1 hour later or 3 hours later than the moment that I broadcasted the content. So for that case, it's important. I will automatically record everything, and then I will send the content 1 hour later due to, as I mentioned, these cases are for the different time zone, okay? So they need the content later. So this is one reason to use these record capabilities. And following more information regarding these record capabilities, something not mentioned before is we can configure the automatic record detailing the time to start, okay, and the time to finish. And we can use it also some triggers, SCCT, okay? We can use these triggers to start the record and to stop the recording. So in that moment, it will be also with no manual intervention. Everything previously configured that we will use these triggers to start and stop the recording. And as last slide, before checking the questions, we will define an easy example of virtual programming. That some things to take into account is we can automate a personalized playlist creation, okay? We create content for audiences who see programs on different devices, okay? This is what we can do. And one important thing is to be able to manage content rights for OTT distribution, okay? This point is related to what we mentioned before. You'll be able to create a channel and sell this content to other countries. And in some countries, maybe we don't have, or we are not able to sell the contents due to the rights. So the idea is to manage the content and personalize the content depending the rights of the content and also the country that we are selling this channel that we're generating. So this was the last slide. We hope to have been clear enough. We hope have been able to explain something quite important. So Bruno, we have 6 minutes. I don't know how many, if we have some questions.
Yes,
for this.
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, good. So we do have a few questions. I think we can use the last minutes. I'm going to select some of them, and the other ones we can also answer privately. So there's one very interesting question about since 4K live content is still, we know, very hard to find for live channels. Can we generate a 4K channel with a mix of live source plus VOD assets?
Okay, so if the question is in case that it's hard to find new content for key, yes, what we have to take into account to generate a 4K channel is that we can do it. Okay, Titan Playout is a tool for this task. What we should take into account is we need the asset. Okay, if we have some VOD library of 4K, okay, we have the first step. And with this VOD library, we could generate, for example, a loop of content. And maybe if we receive, besides, for example, the use cases, besides the VOD files, we can receive a live feed of 4K. We can generate a unique channel of 4K with this Titan Playout. Okay, yes, the question is, yes, we can do it, and this is a good use case.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. Yeah, I think it's a very interesting question. A lot of people are trying to launch Ultra HD or 4K services, and definitely a mix of live and the VOD 4K catalog. I think it's a nice way to complete the lineup and have a full channel 4K nowadays. I think we can take one more question. One of the questions we have is for the types of input and output of the playout. Does it support, compressed IP input and output?
Yes, in terms, it's very important to understand that Titan Playout, it's another software that ATEM uses to define solutions, okay? And in terms of inputs and outputs, we can generate we can receive, for example, the inputs that you mentioned. And in the moment that, as everything runs on microservices, okay, using Docker and Kubernetes as main orchestrator, we can generate a whole solution, okay, using different parts of the Titan software, and we can have a lot of inputs and outputs. We can receive, for example, the input that you mentioned, and also, for example, in terms of output, we can have a lot of outputs, including the channel that we generate, and also we can transcode the channel, for example, for contribution. We can transcode the channel for distribution, everything in the same solution.
Okay, very good. I think maybe because of the time I think you can go to the next slide. We can do the transition to the next presentation.
Okay, yes. Just to make the quick transition is that we finished the reach new audience with virtual programming, okay? Now it's coming, optimize your distribution to affiliates. If I'm not wrong, the presenter will be Robin.
Will be Robin, yes.
Yes,
from our team Robin in the USA.
Okay, as I mentioned, just to have the last minute, we have the Titan Playout demo running in lab. Due to time, we couldn't show this because it was not possible, but we are totally open to just to receive the message of anybody, just to be able to show the Titan Playout and how it works, because it's different to have it in a presentation that see how it works.
Yeah, we're open to do demonstrations, presentations. You just contact your local sales or pre-sales team, and we will do that.
Okay, so I will. Okay. I see Robin here, so I will pass the ball to Robin.
Yeah.
Yes, I will make Robin host. And I will stop recording also. I guess that Robin will be able to stop the recording.
Yep, I can stop the recording now.
Okay, perfect, Robin. I give you the ball.